Welcome back to the channel. We are here June 6th, and this is going to be the recap and breakdown for June 7th. 2-game slate we got going down for Draftkings and Fanduel. We have two big games coming up between the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks, and game one of the Phoenix Suns and the Denver Nuggets. Before we get into that breakdown, let's look at what happened today. Obviously, came out with a video earlier, just 2 hours, 3 hours before the game started, and we have some positive messages from other guys and some positivity from me. I did $1 lineup just really quick, threw it in there. There was late news about Joel Embiid, so obviously that drew me away to some of the plays that I liked because I thought he was going to be out, but he decided to play. So I threw him in there. I thought he was going to be a big key in that. Still was able to afford Boban Marjanovic. As long as he was starting, I was going to play him. He's a big point per minute guy, and he reached what we spoke about. If he was going to start, he has the potential to get 30 DK. He got me 34. Kawhi Leonard, I wanted to pay up for him, gave me 66. Batum was a cheap play. Herder was big. Like I said, if Hunter was out, then we can go to Herder. Herder came up big. So Herder and Batum were very good. Jalen Collins was decent. What hurt me was Reggie Jackson and Tim Hardaway Jr. If you had Marcus Morris in there, you did it. You did very well. But this lineup was good to cash, and I'm happy with it. Move on to the next day because there's always going to be. We literally was two players away from having a perfect lineup from winning $1,000. Two players. So, we were right there on it. I had everything basically right. If you match my lineup with the number one lineup, only two players was the difference. We had some good news. Shout out to G. Cole. He came through. He said the Claw won me some money. He gave me 100% respect right there. And he's giving me support. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to help people win, man. Right? Not just me. Other people I'm giving out, analysis of how I see basketball games. And you guys probably connect with me on that same level. So we can see eye to eye. That's why we can speak about different plays, and then we can make some money. That's the whole object, okay? It's like a casino. They're trying to beat us, man. They have the upper hand, okay? We're trying to figure it out. So let's get into Monday's breakdown. Like I said, between the Nets and Bucks and the Suns and the Nuggets. This is going to be tomorrow's core. 7K and below because there's a ton of stars you want to pay up for. So I'm going a little bit cheaper than usual, all right? Because there's Kyrie, there's KD, there's Giannis, there's Jokic, there's Booker. There's a ton of guys. So we're going to need to go cheap. First guy, point guard, is going to be Mike James. Now, since James Harden stepped out with the hamstring injury, he's going to be missing game 2, definitely. Mike James, I was already watching him previously, right before the end of the season, and he was getting big minutes off the bench. And you can see some of the upside right here. 27 minutes got you 32 DK. 26 minutes got 22, and 28 minutes got you 35. So the upside is there. He is, an international player, finally brought back over to the States and brought back over to the Nets. He has some experience, obviously, internationally. This man can shoot the ball. That's one thing I've noticed. He can shoot. He's very crafty with his dribble. I don't know how he got 7 rebounds, but he was down there, helped team rebounding with Brook Lopez down there and PJ Tucker down there with some of the trees. Mike James was a very, very, active guard, and I'm liking what I see out of him. He's running the offense. He'll run the beginning sets of the offense, and then you'll see Kyrie come in or KD. But that's surprising that they have this kind of trust in this young player right here. Well, just young with NBA experience, really, because he's just playing international. But at 3,300, a point guard that's going to get 25 plus minutes. It's not saying he's going to get 30 again, but definitely 25 plus in a role where we're going to need another guard to handle the ball. Yes, we're going back to the well on that one. I like Mike James at 3,300. Next is going to be shooting guard Austin Rivers. This man has been dedicated with the task to guard the number one, guard on the other side of the team. He had to try to not try. He attempted. to lock down Damian Lillard. He's probably going to be on Devin Booker all series long, and this is why you see his minutes at a very high clip: 37, 24, 47, and 40. That type of consistency. I just need the points, but the explosion is there. If he's knocking down the threes, then he'll have that big, 30 DK type of game. If he's not shooting his threes, then he'll get you single digits. So there's a warning with this play, but I think in game one he can establish himself, maybe get some easier buckets. I like Austin Rivers at 4K. I'll take a shot on him. It's only 2 games slate. Someone that's getting that type of minutes is going to be on the court. The ball can fall to him either way, and he can fall into maybe 20, 25 DK. I'll take that. I'm not being too greedy. It's only 2 games late. I'm not being too greedy right there. Next is going to be small forward Aaron Gordon, with a lot of the tension on the Nuggets between Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. Aaron Gordon's going to fall to the side, and I think he can clean up that way. Definitely be a big factor down low, get some rebounds. He is a high flyer. You see a double-double right there in Game 6, and then not Game 6. In Game 5. And in Game 6, he had 13, 4, and 7, 1 block and 1 steal. He's getting more acclimated to the offense, to the scheme, and playing a little bit better. So I think this can roll over to the next series, and we can see a better performance out of him, because he's going to need to step up. Because if Michael Porter Jr. just falls off, they need another guy to step up with Jokic. Aaron Gordon is that guy. That's why they brought him over here. And I like him at 5,500. Next is going to be Blake Griffin. He was playing with y'all, man. With Detroit, he put on a whole facade. You thought he couldn't dunk anymore. You thought like he sucked. The old age was hitting him. No. This is a full opportunity for him to exploit what you guys thought was going to happen and now play for a contender, and he's motivated. So you get a motivated Blake Griffin. This is what you see. We're going to run this type of small lineup, and it's going to be hard for Milwaukee to contend with, because we have literally 1 through 5 can shoot threes. We'll bring out Brook Lopez out because of Blake Griffin, and literally 1 through 5, they can knock down the three-point ball. Blake Griffin can rebound, obviously. He was active down below, getting 2 steals, even threw in some 3 assists. So he had a huge breakout performance, like 12x his value. Not saying he's going to do that again, but definitely I expect 30 plus DK from him if he's getting these type of minutes in this production. He's motivated. I'm liking what I'm seeing, how all the attention's going to Kyrie and Kevin Durant. The third guy right here between Joe Harris and Blake Griffin. They're going to get some points. They're going to get some shots, and they're going to exploit the mismatches that Milwaukee's going to be compensating, trying to double-team Kyrie, trying to double-team Kevin Durant. There's going to be big openings, and I like Blake Griffin at 4,100. Next is going to be the center position, Brook Lopez. There's one advantage that Milwaukee has is going to be size, and that's why you see the field goal percentage for Brook Lopez. It's at a very high clip. It's because he's going to be down low, banging down there, getting rebounds, putting up easier shots, trying to use him in the post. That's the way they can, exploit our small lineup. Not necessarily saying it's going to be a guarantee that it's going to lead them to a win, because when it comes to it, you got to knock down threes. And Nets are a way better three-point shooting team than Milwaukee Bucks, especially since they lost Dante DiVincenzo. And now Brook Lopez, to benefit him, he can work down low. I want to take advantage of the size, so we can probably get an easy double-double. I was surprised he didn't get 10 rebounds in game 1. But this is kind of the same story that we know Brook Lopez when he was with the Nets. He'll score 20 points, definitely, but is he going to rebound like he's supposed to? That's the big question mark. So I'm seeing a similar performance out of him again, very high with field goal made and field goal attempts, because he should be getting easier shots. You just need the rebounds to come through, and at 4,900, I think that's a very cheap price for a starting center. Obviously, there's more expensive centers that you want to play up for between Jokic and Ayton. But if you're looking for a cheaper option on DraftKings to pair with one of those two, I would go with Brook Lopez. And then last but not least, This should be, not saying this is a price discrepancy here, but I think this is too cheap. I understand the shoulder issue, but the fact that he led this team to beat the Lakers, that was big. And he showed up in that final game 6 with 8 points, 12 assists, and 2 rebounds. Um, I don't think he goes cheaper than this. And then, especially maybe a slower tempo game against Denver, we might see some more assist opportunities, maybe some more points where he can work it down low, get to maybe eat some layups. We'll see with that, but I think Chris Paul has come to a point where obviously he doesn't deserve the 8K price where he was before, but 65 is kind of like, how far are you falling? And maybe his shoulder's going to feel better with a couple of extra days off, and 6,500 is too cheap for him. Too cheap for him, and I want to take full advantage of that. Let's look over on FanDuel and see the prices. Where's the value at? So I spoke about Mike James. He's really cheap on DraftKings. He should be not a lock because that's kind of bullish. He's a strong play on DraftKings at 3,300. You have to think about it on FanDuel. Just because he's not a starter, but he should get 25 plus minutes. I feel confident in that, even at the 4,800 price on FanDuel. He should be able to get you there. Chris Paul is going to be 73 compared to 65 on DraftKings. I'm fine with that. He's going to have to really score double digits. The assist is going to be there. He's going to have to go for like 15 to 20 points to pay off that 7,300 price. So that's a question mark. Austin Rivers is 4,900 compared to 4,000. Like I said, he's hit or miss as well. He needs to put the ball in the bucket, knock down those threes, but he is going to be out there for a full allotment of minutes playing defense. So maybe he gets some extra rebounds, maybe a couple steals. You can see a bonus there. Aaron Gordon at 58 compared to 55. So only $300 difference. That is fine. I'm not worried about that. Play him on both sides. Blake Griffin is 51 compared to 41. So $1,000 in difference, but the amount of minutes he's going to get, that small rotation that they're going to bring out for the Brooklyn Nets, and our higher pace, Blake Griffin is going to have a lot of opportunities to put the ball in the basket, maybe clean up the boards, throw him some dunks and some alley-oops. And I love him at being especially a power forward on FanDuel at 5,100. And then Brook Lopez at 6K compared to 4,900. That's $1,100 in price difference. I love him on DraftKings. I'll probably go somewhere else. I might as well pay up at center instead of getting him at 6K. And if you really like your other stars that you have, but I would probably lean towards an Aiden or Jokic at the center position on FanDuel. Okay. And then let's look at the player props for tomorrow. I got some interesting ones. I think some that we should take advantage of. Let's start. I don't want to see that. I really don't. I can't get that out of the way. But the first one is going to be DeAndre Ayton to record 10 plus rebounds. The reason why I like that one, if we're just looking at some past history between Ayton going up against Jokic and the Denver Nuggets, he averages 22 points and 12 rebounds in the previous 3 games against Denver. So I like him to get his 10 rebounds. And plus, if you're just looking at the game log, you're taking advantage of the fact the past 2 games, he got 3 rebounds and 7 rebounds. That's not the norm for DeAndre Ayton. He should get 10 rebounds each and every game. He already averages for the whole year 10.5. So I think we're getting a great price at minus 134 for DeAndre Ayton, 10 plus rebounds. Next, the one you're going to see below that is going to be DeAndre Ayton to score 15 points plus. And the reason why I like that play is because we're gonna stay on this DeAndre Ayton train. He averages 22 points a game against Denver. So if you're just going off his previous performances, he only got 8 points and 8 points in back-to-back games. That's not the norm for him. He should definitely at least get 15 plus, and you're getting a plus 112 on that. And then last but not least, the third player prop is going to be the Phoenix Suns Denver Nuggets under 219.5 points. That's because if we're just going in back in the history, they played 3 times, okay? 2 of those games, the reason why they went over the total is because it went into overtime. One went into regular overtime, and the second one went into double overtime. So if you're looking at just one game, regular minutes, you're gonna see 106 to 103 right here. Only 209 points. You got 10.5 points cushion right there. I think these are 2 defensive teams. We have the 11th ranked defensive team in the Denver Nuggets, and Phoenix Suns were top 5. So I think there's going to be a little bit more defense, slower tempo, and I like the under for game 1. Okay. So I think we have a solid core for tomorrow going, and the player props should all hit. Let's go 3-0 again. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the comments down below. I want more and more so I can post it and show it on the videos. And follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessageSD. Also, send screenshots to the Instagram so I can post them there so you guys get notified and you get some exposure. And I shout you out. So it's a win-win. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow on another video. Peace out.